Hey you guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. We got a glorious, glorious show here with you. You guys do see I got Steve here, but I also got another guest that we're going to deal with first. All right, good buddy of mine from Nutrient Survival, Eric Christensen. He came did Operation Valkyrie with us and everything. You guys might know him on the internet as Ranger Eric. Great stuff. We got our usual sponsor here, Venture Surplus. You guys know I'm a big fan of their stuff. Their motto is Venture Surplus brings the Army surplus store to your door. So like every time I'm driving somewhere, I see like an Army surplus store, Navy surplus, whatever. I always stop in. I like to rat through the old stuff and see if there's any hidden treasures there. You can do that at venturesurplus.com. Anyways, you go and check it out. And it's just old ammo cans, the big Mark 19 ammo cans. That's what all the chairs are in all the seats in my tornado shelter. They're all the old Mark 19 ammo cans. It's the perfect height to sit on. You don't have to worry about them falling over because they are filled to the top with ammo. All right, but anyways, good stuff indeed. All right, real quick, I don't want to leave my guest hanging because he'll end up hanging up on me. All right, I am going to see if I can get Eric on the screen here. Let me click real quick. There he is. All right, I got to go the other way with this here. Got to go the other way. All right, Eric, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, it's awesome to be with you, Mr. Carl. How are you?
I am awesome. You guys might remember the video. It took me and my son. We went out. We did the Rubicon Trail, Moab, Utah, everything. And the end of the Rubicon Trail, the mother of all trails, the mecca of off-road driving, ends in Reno, Nevada, and that is where the Nutrient Survival headquarters is. Their factory and everything. I would be wrong to get that close and not stop by. I had a great visit there. Eric, thank you for making my whole Overland team feel welcome. They gave us a great tour of the place, and it really was awesome. So what's new with you? What are you up to?
Yeah, well, don't forget the big party we had at my place. That was awesome. That was the highlight for our team. Just hanging out and having some fun with the little bonfire
good food.
Yeah.
Good
well,
food.
I want to say hello to a number of the folks from the Wolf Pack. Sean Alexander, I see, is in the chat, and Rhonda Holt and Jan Penland. Those are the ones that I see right off the bat. But thanks for making it to Carl's TR live stream.
It's good to see some of my asylum on your Wolfpack live stream when I came on a few months ago, and now it's great to. And you know the deal, the Wolfpack is always welcome here. You know I'm not big on the term prepper, but I'm very big on being prepared. I had it explained to me once that Special Forces is basically Boy Scouts with guns. That's what we are. We overplan things. We do contingency plans for everything. We master the basics. And so long as you do that, and so long as you're, the motto, be prepared, that's the Green Beret way of doing things. Anything that can go wrong, they make go wrong in training. So when people say, well, how hard was that combat op? I go, it was, the rehearsals were a lot harder. The rehearsals suck. Helicopters get shot down in rehearsals. Trucks go down. And you have to bump everybody to the other vehicles. There's always more than enough bad guys on target. And anything that can go wrong goes wrong when you're doing what we call a full mission profile. That's where they bring in all the role players, everything. They rent a facility, basically a target set where you've never been before. So like sometimes we'd get on the helicopters, we'd go hit Fort Knox. We might go all the way to Dugway, Utah, to hit targets, Texas, all over the place. And Milan, Tennessee used to be an old ammo factory back in World War II. It is still owned by the government, but it's all antiquated old brick buildings. But I have hit different parts of that compound so many times. And after doing things like that, real combat was always so easy. And things go bad sometimes, yes. But you're prepared for it because you have all these contingencies in place, and that's the big part about being prepared is you have to plan for all contingencies, not just one. You can't just say, well, I'm only doing the zombie apocalypse, or I'm only doing an EMP. How about a bad hurricane or tornado comes through and you just lose your roof? You know,
Yeah.
do you have a couple tarps and a nail gun that is charged, because you're not going to be able to plug it in the wall because the electricity's out? You know, things like that. Screw guns to keep the tarp down on the roof. You only got to make it through the night. You got to make it till the rain stops. But that is an emergency that most people don't look at. And you start talking food, water, shelter, and all this other stuff. And a big part of my family's plan is, you know, you layer your foodstuffs and everything. Keep the pantry full. Rotate those cans. Rotate all the perishable foods. Rotate the foods in the freezers. And then you've got the cans that are not in the pantry. Okay, you still got to rotate them. But you get past that, you start looking long-term food storage, the 25-year shelf life, and canning tomatoes, doing this, whatever. And like I've got a Harvest Right freeze dryer, and I have 193 fruit trees. So we do the pears come in. I mean, the peaches come in first, and then the apples, the different kind of apples. Thank God they come in at different times. A lot of them overlap.
God intended that.
Yeah, yeah.
He planned it out that way.
A lot of them overlap, though. There'll be 30,000 ripe apples out there at one time, and then the pears come in later. The Asian pears come in the same time the apples do, but the Bartlett pears come in later than the apples do. So, anyways, it's you do them, and then the rest of the year you're doing. I can do 5 dozen eggs at a time in the Harvest Right freeze dryer. I say that that's my wife doing them, but there's so many things that I can't do, or I can't have enough of, because I've got 17 people on the hill, Eric. You know, I start bringing in extended family and everything, and that's a lot of food. That's a lot of food servings, and shelf stable butter, shelf stable milk. Milk's a big one because, you know, a lot of the homesteaders, they've got cattle and dairy cows, and I don't. I have an uncle, my uncle, Helen's husband, he raises Black Angus.
Not a lot of milk out of those.
You're not getting a lot of milk out of your Black Angus beef cattle.
I was going to say, you know, you're a prepper, but you don't know it. That's the reality.
Yeah,
because you were born prepared, or at least you had a lifetime of being prepared. So all the stuff that so many people spend so much time on, for you it's second nature.
Yeah, it is. And now with me teaching classes, I had this class, and I haven't taught it in a while. This was before I really commercialized my training with Tactical Rifleman, but I used to teach a lot of classes. They were private classes, and it wasn't Tactical Rifleman. It was Carl Erickson, Green Beret Carl Erickson, and I put this class together called Modern Survival, and it was a great class. It was 3 days long, and it wasn't rubbing two sticks together. It was because what we found was after Katrina happened. This guy with his family approached us, and he's like, look, I thought I was good to go. I had all the food. I had the ways to purify water. I had the backup generator. I had all that. And then Katrina happened. I couldn't even start my generator. I didn't know how to purify water because I had such a large supply. I didn't fathom everything being underwater and all the water being contaminated with feces and petroleum products and everything else. So he got through it, of course. But then he's like, I need to do better for my family. So we built the course originally for him, and it got tweaked. And fast forward, so I gathered certain training aids for that class. water purifiers and this, a Berkey water filter, right? And and my wife my wife's not a prepper, not at all. But my wife always supported my whims. Whatever you need a new what for your Jeep, okay, fine, whatever. As long as you can afford it, fine. But you fast forward now, my wife, the blinders are coming off of so many people, and they're seeing what's happening with society, and they're seeing that the dark clouds on the horizon are a lot closer than they used to be. And next 20 years is really going to suck. It really is. Mm-hmm. And so my wife, and now you add social media and everything else, clickety clack and TikTok and all the other crap out there. My wife now is, hey, I want to do this in the Harvest Right freeze dryers. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Carl, have you seen honey, we need to get one of these. I'm like, honey, it's up in the attic. We have one of these. We've got two of them. Like, oh, wow. Oh, and the next day she said, hey, we really need to get one of these. Honey, we got one in the attic already. We got one of those. I'm like, yeah, it's up in the attic. So it's good stuff indeed. And yeah, for all our viewers, and I know everybody wants to talk guns and everything, but the tornado hits, or you're at the mall and some Korean War vet has a heart attack and lands his Cessna in the food court, having guns and ammo is not going to help you in the food court. What's going to help you, because that's a mass casualty situation, what's going to help you is knowledge. So I'm big on, as I've got, you've heard the term geardo. There are people out there that they see something, a new shiny object, and they immediately buy it. And that's fine and all, but understand it doesn't matter if you've got $100,000 worth of medical gear up in the attic at your house. If you don't know how to use it, but two, again, I use the food court example. All that medical gear back home up in the attic is not helping you at the food court. What's going to help you is the classes that you took. And I'm very big on, and my patrons will tell you, like we talk about different tourniquets. What makes a tourniquet correct? What makes a tourniquet correct is you want it to be so wide, you want it to have a windlass, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. What about when you don't have one? How do you improvise something? And instead of just teaching classes on improvise, to me, it's more important. Like improvised weapons is the same way. Know what correct looks like. And then if you know what makes something correct, it's easier for you to improvise it. And it does. It works. It really does. And but there's certain things you can't just pull out of your backside. And that's where... those are the things that we have to have the forethought to stock up on. And the vitamin eggs, and I'm not against vitamin eggs. You can get some vitamin eggs from Nutrient Survival. They're awesome. All right, but I'm not a good cook. I'm really not. But home style scramble right here, guys. Home style scramble. This is my baby right here. Ask my son. This and Southwestern medley, it's supposed to be put up on the shelf, right? Long-term food storage, but you need to stock up on things that you like, the things that you like to eat. And me and my son, we go through a couple cans of this stuff. I'll come up from my office here is down in the basement, but my son will be banging away on the piano upstairs. I'll walk upstairs to visit him, and he'll be in the kitchen making himself up some Southwestern medley, and I'm like, that looks pretty good. You're gonna have to make me some of that. All right, good stuff.
That's what he was saying. You were upstairs getting your cup of coffee, and Nick said, "You know what? We need some more home style. We need some more Mac because we're about out." And he was almost. He sounded a little guilty or maybe sad because I know we should keep some for an eventuality, for an emergency, but we just eat it all the time. So that's great. I mean, ultimately, if you can do it, and it's, this stuff is kind of a really quick and easy, convenient way to have a very filling lunch, and it, that
Yeah.
just a little bit fills you up,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to eat it every day, it's a heck of a lot better than going out to McDonald's and getting a Big Mac and value meal along with fries and a big
Yeah.
shake. This stuff is way better for you. But anyway, appreciate all that for sure.
Yeah. Hey guys, I know Eric's got a bit of an echo. Again, this is our first time ever having a video guest, and I didn't know. And you'll see his echo comes and goes. And when we did the practice live stream earlier, I was playing the part of Eric from my laptop upstairs, and I didn't have any issues at all. So we'll get better at this. We'll get better at it. So I know he has an echo. I know people in the chat room and everything, or I have people texting me, letting me know that that we have an echo. I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just glad to have Eric here. I am. Hey guys, if you're here with us tonight, Eric, because Eric, he's a big fan of Tactical Rifleman too, and I dig that. He said, TR Live, use that promo code TR Live. It's going to save you 20% off of everything at their website. And yeah, I think I might have to get some more cans. You guys know my three go-to: 3 cheese macaroni, Southwestern medley, and the homestyle scramble. Those are my to die for. All right. So anyways, that code is live now. So you guys watching this video later on, till they see a drop off, they said that they'd keep it going. But I'm leaving the whole month of March. Basically, I leave tomorrow, late tomorrow, early the next morning. And I'm going down to Palatka, Florida. I'm going to go, round canopy parachute team. I told you guys about it. From there, I drop off my camper. I immediately jump in the Suburban that is already loaded to go to Texas to teach a week of tactical rifleman classes. From there, I go to filming with Leviathan down at Demolition Ranch in Texas. I'm not home until Easter, the end of the month. So basically, I'm gone the whole month. So it was, I asked Eric, hey, and I'm busy in April and I'm busy in May, but let's get together. Let's do something March. And so anyways, Eric, you want to tell him about it, or do you want me to tell him about it?
Well, since I have an echo, I'll be Vanna, and I'll take the cue. And
Okay.
I'll help you, but I don't want to lose people because of my echo.
We got 3 weeks straight, special TR packages. All right, today being the 5th. All right, you guys remember Operation Valkyrie? We did. That's the kayaking and sleeping in the cave in the snow and everything, live sniper shots. Nutrient Survival sponsored that, and they had these dry bags, and they're awesome. It was the Operation Valkyrie dry bag, but it comes filled with all of these single serving samples, everything loaded to the gills. Anyways, they still sell them, right? Even though we're not doing Operation Valkyrie this year.
It's actually our best-selling go bag, Carl.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's because it's filled with my favorites. Now here's the deal. You used to get it with this brown patch, guys. And if you see my multicam jacket I wear all the time, you'll see I've got that patch right there. And I love this patch, I really do. Velcro on the back, good quality. This is not just 3D printed. This is a legitimate, awesome patch. You can't get this one anymore because it's limited edition. But let's do limited edition again. So same patch, but Eric's got the new one. Show him the new one, Eric. Same patch, but it's black now. All right. So for all my 5th group guys that got to have one, easy. This week, you get this bag right here. It comes with that patch. All right. And again, use TR15 the whole month, saves you 15%. Or you could order it the next couple of days and do it for TR20.
Well, this was your special request, Carl.
It was.
Said, hey, let's do something else, and we started coming up with ideas. And
Yeah.
Carl's like, well, why are we overthinking this thing? Give me that same patch, but make it black.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
And we're
That's
like,
what
all
I
right,
wanted.
let's do that. Nice, super
All
easy. So
next
there we go.
Tuesday, I'm not supposed to share it with you till next Tuesday, but I'm gonna give you guys a heads up because I have Eric here. We did another thing with them, and that was my tactical rifleman bucket. This is what stays in the back of the Jeep. This is what's already in my camper to go down to Palatka, Florida with me. It is filled with my favorites, the pantry packs, not single servings. There's a few single servings in there. All right. But it is it's packed with my favorites, guys. It really is. And you get the TR, the black TR patch again. Eric, right on cue, man. It's like you've done this before.
Kind of that shine. Beautiful.
The third week of March, the 19th, all right, for my patrons, that's when I'm going to be doing the question and answer video. It's also the same week we're going to be doing our Patreon Zoom. It's going to be awesome. But still, it's another opportunity to do something in March with Nutrient Survival. Starting on the 19th, that will be 2 more Tuesdays from now, the patch. But that is with their it's called the number 10 can bundle. Sorry guys, I've been rubbing my dogs and I touched the corner of my eyes and now my eye is burning. I'm allergic to dogs. You guys know I got 3 dogs. I love my dogs. But basically, if you don't know what a number 10 can is, you can pick any cans from their website. Pick at least 6 of them. I'm probably going to order a couple dozen more cans. Here's the deal: is there's certain look on their list. For example, if you don't have dairy cows, you could get powdered milk. Okay, it's going to last you 5 years, or you could get vitamin milk from Nutrient Survival, and it's going to last you 25 plus years. Now, why do I need milk? Well, because if you put up all those buckets of wheat, okay, it's better to store whole grain wheat than flour. It lasts better, right? But if you're doing your own Mylar bags with buckets, 5-gallon buckets, food grade buckets, all that, diaphaneous earth mixed in, oxygen absorbers, all that stuff. If you've done all that with your rice and your wheat or your flour, and you can store flour, and your salts and your sugars, that's awesome. But when it comes time, your family's wanting those breads or those pancakes in the survival situation, every one of those recipes calls for milk. You got vitamin butter also, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many of those recipes call for butter also?
I'll tell you, the butter, I love the butter. I use the butter all the time now, the powdered
really?
butter. And I use it because sometimes I make these waffles, and it calls for melted butter. And it's such a pain to take a stick of butter and put it in another bowl and put it in the microwave, and it's popping all over the place. And because I don't do it over the stove like they say to do it, but I do it in the microwave. But this stuff, you just take the powder, and then you add the water, and you stir it up, and you make the butter ahead of time, and it's nice and whipped. It looks beautiful, and then you've got it already. It's amazing.
That's a great idea.
It's so convenient.
That's a great idea.
And it's literally 1 tablespoon for every tablespoon of real butter.
Yeah.
And you use it just like butter. You can use it on toast. You can use it in recipes. But it's such a great hack.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we have a little cabin, a bug out location, and I don't even take fresh stuff up there anymore. I have my cans up there ready to go.
Yeah.
I want milk, eggs, butter. We've got now tomato and potato.
Yeah, I
and
saw
we
that.
also put the stuff now in pantry packs. I don't see any around here, but pantry packs like this, but that are actually the milk, the eggs, so you don't have to have a number 10 can anymore if you want to use it on a more frequent basis.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those hacks are great. Yeah.
My wife got excited when she saw the tomatoes, and he mentioned tomatoes and potatoes. Right, same thing. If you're making spaghetti sauce, right, you stored the pasta. Same thing. You can store pasta long term. Same thing, Mylar bags, buckets, all that stuff. But it's hard to store tomato sauces. It is canning tomatoes, of course. That's awesome. A lot of people aren't good at canning. But potatoes, powdered potatoes, that doesn't sound as good as making real mashed potatoes. But Randy Worth said it best. He's like, if you're in a survival situation, you don't want to be chopping wood. You don't want to be splitting firewood. You know, you want to have your fire and then you just start sliding the logs into it because you're burning calories chopping wood. Okay, that makes sense. Food preparation's the same way. You know, you don't want to be in a survival situation having to waste that extra 15 minutes peeling and mashing real potatoes. Not just...
Well, Carl, I got to tell you something. Let me interrupt you. So, just for a second. So, think about a can of our vitamin tomatoes. They're not like other survival tomatoes. Our vitamin tomatoes, and we suck with the vitamin name, but in reality, there's 40 essential nutrients in our vitamin tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, if you got tomatoes off the vine, or you got them from another source, even pasta sauce,
yeah,
you're not going to get all the 14 vitamins, all the minerals. We have 9 amino acids in there. We have omega-3, omega-6, and we also have fiber. So it is, I love that product because we take, tomatoes, which are already a superfood in and of themselves, superfood, and we amp it up with everything that, that you need to get through. So that tomato is going to give you all the essential nutrients, that vitamin tomato is all the essential nutrients you need to perform at your best. And that's the secret of the whole line, because we talk about survival food, but the other survival foods, fine, great. Unfortunately, if that's all you eat, you will die because they lack essential nutrients. They are empty, dead calories, and that's why we. That's
like trying to live off of ramen. Right. Just people think just because they got through college living off of ramen that they could do it in a survival situation. You're not living off of ramen. You're not.
Yeah. Yeah, and what happens when you don't get the nutrients you need? Your body
That's some good coffee right there. That's some good coffee.
Doesn't have your natural immune system. You don't heal as well. Your skin starts to spot up on you. You just fall out of function. So important stuff.
So I've shared with you guys, and again, this week the world only knows about the bag. All right. If you want to get the black patch. You get our Operation Valkyrie bag, but I'm giving you guys a heads up what's coming the next 2 weeks. So what's new with you, Eric? What do you got going on?
Well, we've been really, really busy. So in addition to the survival line, and hopefully I'm trying to step back a little bit so it's not echoing as much, I don't think. Is it?
Okay. No, it is not.
Okay, good. Well, that helps then. So in addition to that, we have just come out with our brain care line, and the folks that are part of the Wolfpack community are well aware because I talk a lot about it. But I am now an author, and I wrote this book. It's called Eat to Think, with my boss, the founder of the company, my investor. His name is Peter Castleman, and smart guy, Harvard Business School, MBA, lifetime entrepreneur, went to Duke undergrad. Anyway, he's a super smart guy, but we got together and we wrote this book, Eat to Think. And we did it because it's a really important message that goes something like this. Brain decline for most people is an eventuality. It will happen. Yeah. Very likely. Cognitive decline. But it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen because only 3% of your brain's health is genetic. And for most people, that's a wow. Only 3%. I thought it was way more than that. No, 97% is behavior. Your diet, your exercise, both physical and mental exercise. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you reducing your stress? Do you have somebody that loves you? All these things. These are 6 pillars of brilliance we talk about, and we lay it all in this book. So it's a really cool book. But in addition to the book, then it's we have some diet ideas in here. It's not difficult things, but the problem with our brains, they're very small. I mean, 3 pounds is all that is of our entire body weight, just 3 pounds. But it consumes 40% of the nutrients that we eat.
Really? I did not know that.
40%. They are nutrient pigs. And so what you eat is going right here first. Without your brain, obviously you can't think. You have no memory. You have no cognitive function. But it also controls your breathing, your heartbeat. It obviously is your feelings, your emotions. It is essentially you. Your brain is you. So you have to protect this brain. And it's totally preventable. So in addition to those things, nutrition being the foundation of it all, we came out with a bunch of products called Brain Care. These little bars have become our new bestseller, Carl, these guys. Inside this little tiny bar is the equivalent of one fillet of salmon. All the omega-3 of one fillet of salmon in this tiny little delicious bar. It's made with figs and dark chocolate and cranberries and...
I got people asking, can you have Eric talk about the rewards program for regular shoppers? Do you have a rewards program for regular shoppers?
We do. The rewards program is very simple. You don't even have to sign up because we already have given you points. If you're buying something, we're going to give you 10 points for every dollar. That's equivalent to 10%. There's no other rewards program I know of that is 10%. Even your credit card, you're getting 3% back, whatever. But we're giving you 10%. So in addition to any discounts that you get already, you're logging that 10%. You can, once you sign up, all those points then come into your account that you've earned. And then you can very easily redeem those points for value off of your basket. And in fact, Rhonda Holt, she's on the call right now. Last week, she redeemed about $200 worth of points off some preps that she bought. So it's real money. It adds up really, really quickly.
Yeah, I bet it does.
So it's great. And you can use it in addition to discounts and everything too. So it's not like there's any blackout restrictions or anything like that. And it's already there. But to sign up, you need your email, sign up. And then once you log into your account, they're presented, they're made available for you to use immediately.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. He's talking about the brain care stuff. I tried some of the, and everybody worries, well, if you're doing brain stuff, nobody wants to eat brain, and I got doesn't matter. It's hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
People want to build muscles. They know muscles taste good. You start talking brain, and everybody's like, "Well, if it's for my brain, it's going to taste yucky." No, it's really not. So those bars you had, they tasted like fig to me, and they were they had more omegas than a salmon swimming around. They were awesome. Right. So good stuff indeed.
Well, we use real fish in here. We use sardines, mackerel, and anchovies. Those are the most efficient, most packed omega-3 fish that you can get. So this is a fish bar, but we have ingredients in here so that you can't taste the fish, and so it tastes delicious.
Is that like a lot of Tabasco sauce? How do you do that?
No,
I'm asking.
You've had it. It's absolutely amazing. And the folks that are part of the Wolfpack that have bought these. In fact, I saw Sean Alexander in the chat say he already had his omega bar for the day. It has.
I ate them. I'm out of them, but to me they tasted more like fig than fish. They're good. They're not bad. They're really not bad.
These are killer. But you have to have omega 3s. Omega 3s. Your brain is about 70% fat. 70% fat. And you've probably seen some splatter brains and smelled it. It smells like blue cheese, as I understand it. But, right? Does it? I don't know. Blue cheese.
What's that?
Does your brain smell like blue cheese? I was asking because you've probably seen some human brains.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of brains, and I'm not big on smelling stuff. That's why I love my COVID. I can completely dump ass right here, and Steve would be like gagging, but I don't smell it because my shit don't stink anymore. I love my COVID. I love my COVID.
Carl,
I love it.
You're funny.
I love my COVID.
Yeah. Anyway, these bars are awesome. Get some bars. That TR live code works on the bars. It works on everything. Yeah.
Good stuff. Indeed. All right, Eric, you got any questions for my asylum or for me and Steve? Questions
I do. So I remember, Carl, one time you were telling me the story. I think you were in Afghanistan, and you were telling me the story about these tunnels that were out there. I think it was Afghanistan, maybe Iraq, but either way. And you had a couple of infantrymen that were out there, and here you walk up as a big Special Forces Green Beret, and you stuck your head in the hole.
Yeah.
And so anyway, what
I'm
I wanted
having
to hear
post-traumatic stress right now. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to hear what you have to say about the way that Israel is having to address the tunnel system, because I don't think this has ever happened before in the scale that it's happened. These massive tunnels under Gaza that they're having to, root through. Yes, they were in Vietnam, they were in World War II, certainly in the Middle East during both those wars.
Yeah.
But what do you think is going on? What are they learning, and how would you address that?
Actually, there's a lot of teaching points for our military that are coming out of Israel. For example, their hostage rescue units, basically SEAL Team 6 and Delta over there, because there's American hostages. So they are over there right now, and they got a big debriefing from the Israeli guys, and the Israelis are like, look, the first few buildings we hit, we went in hostage rescue style, like you guys teach. And they're like, no, we're not doing that anymore. They're back to urban combat, basically back to what we call military operations in urban terrain. And I actually saw that happen in the Second Battle of Fallujah in 2004. That was the first time MARSOC had just been stood up, Marine Special Operations Command, and their first company of MARSOC guys show up, and they're basically like a ranger company. But I'm over there, got my snipers training, and I'm watching this company of MARSOC guys. There was a platoon of them. They're hitting this building. They're just doing rehearsals. And I mean, these guys, they've got the same body armor and kit that my SIF company assaulters had. They've got the quickie saw on an Alice pack frame on the back of a guy so he can move with it. And they've got all the door charges and wall charges. I was like, all right, these guys have been trained the same way we have. All right. Hostage. And the more we watch them, like, yeah, these guys are actually training HR, hostage rescue. And they were good. They weren't as good as the SIF company. The SIF company is not as good as Delta is, but you're using the same playbook basically. So fast forward towards the end of my deployment there, and the Marines go in for the Second Battle of Fallujah, and you guys saw parts of things on CNN. Because there was an embedded CNN team with the Iraqi counter-terrorist force that showed them hitting a hospital out on the peninsula. So you saw some assaulters with Iraqis. MARSOC didn't work with the Iraqis at all, but they started hitting a couple targets early, the first couple days, and I ended up seeing their company commander, a young captain, and I saw him at the Marine headquarters there come in. And I'm in civilian clothes because I'm on Camp Fallujah. I got my little safe house on that base. My car, I'm in civilian clothes. Walk in, but he recognized me. I recognized him. But he's got his Mitch helmet on, his body armor. But this young captain had the 1,000-yard stare. And I'm like, hey, sir, you okay? And he's like, no. And he's looking through me. And he said, we hit a building, and but they knew we were coming. He said, when we do hostage rescue, when we do CQB for hostage rescue, surprise, speed, violence, action, those are the three pillars of CQB, close quarters battle. We say that the three principles of CQB, surprise, speed, violence, of action, but it's not CQB. It is hostage rescue. Close quarters battle, hostage rescue. You want to have surprise. You've got to move fast. You've got to have violence of action as soon as you lose surprise and speed. But what happened to them was the bad guys knew they were coming, so the front doors were booby trapped. outside where the guys were stacked up were mines. And once they got inside, there's nobody in the room, but there's small mouse holes cut in the bottom of the walls with PK machine guns 2 rooms deep, cutting out the legs of all the Marines. And this captain took massive, massive casualties right away. And it clicked with me right there that could have been my company, you know, because in Afghanistan and all these other places, when we would hit targets, we would always have surprise. We would always hit it very, very quick speed. And we would always have violence of action. We'd have AC-130 Spectre gunships overhead. We'd have Apaches. We'd have gun trucks, snipers in the Overwatch, whatever it was. And we always had blistering success. And that's fine so long as you have that. But as soon as you realize you don't have overwhelming firepower, as soon as you realize you don't have surprise, then you need to go back to military operations in urban terrain. And that is, that playbook hasn't changed since World War II. The stuff that the dog-faced GIs were doing in France and Germany is the same stuff I was watching conventional Marines do in the Battle of Fallujah. And just a couple days after, this captain met me with the 1,000-yard stare. So a good example is the front door. You've got to get inside the building. Now, they know you're coming, so if you go through the front door, well, you blow the front door open to stun the guys inside, right? There's no need to throw a flashbang because blowing open the door is going to stun them. Okay, but if they've booby-trapped it and they're 2 rooms back with a mouse hole so they can shoot machine guns, your door charge, your flashbang's not doing anything. So what the Marines started doing was, instead of using doors, they would take a small D rocket and they'd knock a hole in a wall so everybody could go through there. You go through rockets really, really quick. A faster, better way is, and this is a technique we got from the Israelis, is you can have a tank just drive through a neighborhood like he's drunk. And if he cuts a corner, he clips a corner off of a building, right? You've got the 2 walls. If he cuts that corner and nicks it with a 60,000 pound, a 60-ton tank, that corner breaks off, and now you've got a doorway that's as tall as that tank is. And the Marines that are behind the tank can flow right into the building. They weren't expecting anybody to come from that corner. And the lessons learned and all the sit reps and everything that we're getting from Israel is that's what they're having to do. They're having to go back old school. And I'm not going to share some of the techniques that they use. I will say that we are sharing these techniques with our military. I'm not going to share them on the open internet because I don't want the wrong people saying, hey, I heard Carl say that this is what the Israelis are doing, and then it get back to Hamas, and and the next thing you know, they're better prepared for the tricks and tactics that the Israelis are using. You guys know I'm not big on doing tactics on the internet. I'm just not. We do tips and techniques. We don't do tactics on the internet. All right.
I got a question for Eric.
All right. I have a question, Steve. Go ahead.
Eric,
Hey, Steve.
how you doing, man?
You looking good.
So are you, brother?
He's a good-looking
All right.
man. Good-looking man.
I'm not as up to speed on your products as Carl are. As Carl is, I know some of them, and we talk about the buckets and the cans.
Yeah.
I'm curious, and I haven't been to your website yet. Tin can
Little
head.
product
Tin can
placement.
head.
Little product placement.
Do you have like ready to go packs? And I'm thinking along the lines of like the military. Like I like to keep 3, 4, 5 MREs in my go pack.
Eric,
And-
I'll go get one.
Yeah, I was looking for
You're
one.
gonna love this.
And that
gonna
way,
love that.
I got a complete meal in a bag. And instead of saying, I got all the nutrient cans and buckets in my vehicle, if I have to go on foot or I'm doing, first responder, rescue, find someone, and you find them, and it's like, okay, we got them, got to get them out of here, but in the meantime, they're dehydrated and they're hungry. So instead of, building packs, do you have packs already built similar to MREs where there's one meal and one complete pack?
We do. In fact, Steve, check it out. I'm sorry about the echo here. There it is. There they are. Those are
MRE. This is called the NRE. I'm sure Eric came up with the name.
I did come up with
Nutrient
the name.
ready to eat.
Nutrition ready to
Grab
eat.
and go power pack. Okay.
That's it. That's exactly it. So in one of those, Steve, is about 1650 calories.
Okay.
And individually packaged items. So there's about, I think, 7 individually packaged items. Now those happen to be out of stock right now, but we have different ones called NREs that are pure NREs in there. And basically it is a day's worth of rations that will get you through. Okay?
Oh, so I grabbed the wrong one. This isn't an NRE?
No, that's awesome. That's perfect. That's the same thing, Carl. Those are just, we're just in the process of re-engineering what's inside them.
Okay.
One day worth of
That's the
delicious
same concept.
meals
They're
made
out
with
right
premium ingredients. That's what I'm talking about.
1,685 calories. That'll get you. That'll keep you busy right there.
And they're nutrient packed calories. Again, our stuff is designed to the nutritional standards, the same nutritional standards that the military prescribes for their MREs. In fact, LRPs, right? Winter rations and special operations rations. That is, we're 2.5 times more nutrients per calorie than a special operations rations. A restricted ration is what it's called, an AR40-25. You can look that up. But that's the idea. We pack all the nutrients in there.
I got the Alpha collection here. It's got maple almond grain crunch. That's a good breakfast one. Homestyle scramble, awesome. Creamy chocolate shake. 3 cheese mac, one of my favorites. Peanut butter bar meal. Special ops chocolate rocks, which are my favorite. Vitamin coffee classic roast, and then the liquid nutrient lemon lime. Awesome.
That is awesome.
Steve has got some more stuff. Which one you want, Steve?
So, great question, Steve. I didn't even pay you for that.
Yeah. It's on time because that's what I was thinking. Because Carl has his packs and his stacks and his racks and everything else, and he and Randy and all those guys. I was just thinking, hey, if I got to go and I need something in my go bag, because I'm not going to stop at 7-Eleven because all the illegals have taken over 7-Eleven and they're helping themselves. I just want to keep going.
That's it.
That's what I was thinking.
All you need is a little bit of water, because it is freeze-dried stuff in there. Unlike MREs that are ready to eat because they're soft and retort. It's a process called retort where they cook the food in the pouch. Ours is freeze-dried, so it's lighter than an MRE, actually.
Yeah.
And you can also, there's all these individual servings that are in there. So I love taking my canteen cup, pouring in some homestyle scramble, pouring in some hot water, or actually, boiling up the hot water on top of my stove, and then pour the homestyle scramble inside it, stir it up, and you have, you've got it. You're good to go. So you do need water.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he mentioned the one key essential to survival.
Water.
No. The canteen cup.
The canteen cup.
You got to have your canteen cup, people.
That's it.
If you don't have your canteen cup, life is going to be miserable. I don't care how much else you have out there with you, or in the basement, or in your shelter. You got to have that canteen cup.
For sure.
You do. Now, my canteen cup, it's all black because it's been exposed to heat. And I actually have the thing that you flip on the reverse side, right, where you can prop it up and put the sterno or the tab underneath it.
Remember the old stove that would go in?
Go underneath. Yeah. He had the
That's old school right there, Eric. That's old school.
heat tabs.
Yeah, the
Yep.
trioxane heat tabs.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll run you out of the
That's
tent.
That's it. I love those things. Yeah, this was before the MRE heater.
Yep, way before that. Eric. I'm gonna give. These are the only two I have that I haven't already eaten, so I'm gonna let Steve pick one of them.
Awesome.
And
Good. I can send
Well,
you some more.
you don't just going to use it to show everybody. They say, hey, what those things on the show? What do they look like? I say, hey, this is what it looked like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
no, I want you
they're
to
out there.
eat the stuff, dude, and then you can come back and say, Carl, I need your other one.
yeah.
They're like,
Yeah,
all right,
that's true.
that's fair.
Do it. Do it for
That's
sure.
fair. All right,
So,
Eric,
Carl-
anything else before I let you go?
No, man, it's good hanging out with you. And,
Oh,
and
it's
you've
always
got a
good,
much,
man.
you got a much better
good.
looking.
Steve, I'm sorry. They want to
No.
see my melon.
You know, well,
Yeah.
Eric, I mean, talk to us about. I know most of the viewers watching. I mean, they appreciate your knowledge and your products. Talk to us about you tactically. I mean, things you like, dislike.
Okay. All right. Well, sure. So, Steve, I went to the military academy, and don't hold that against me, because
We won't do that.
you know,
We won't hold it against you.
I was one of the good officers coming
Speaking
out
of those
there.
10 points you were given, deduct 10 points.
See, that's what I'm saying. I should have said anything, right?
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's him?
Some
Anyway.
of my best friends are from the academy.
Yeah, and I
The ring
served
knockers.
my first duty. There it is. My first duty assignment was Panama. I was at Fort Sherman, actually Fort Davis, but then we would go out to the jungle school at Fort Sherman, and we were the Op 4. So I cut my teeth there. My first CO was a airborne ranger with 2nd Bat, and so he got me. He's like, Christensen, you know, you gotta go to ranger school. So he sent me. I was a field artilleryman and forward observer
Keep talking.
pretty much my entire time, fire support officer. So he sent me to ranger school and did that, and then came back and did a few other things. And 101st Airborne was with the Apache helicopter, 1101 Aviation, and fired the first shots of Desert Storm. Did that. But as far as so this job for me, there it is. This job for me is
That's my favorite
the
right
best
there.
of everything. Because once I got out of the service, I went into corporate America and was at a food company for the next 25 years. So this job is kind of the combination of who I am as a person, all the things I love to do, and be, and I'm a little crazy, and combining that food executive experience to bring this company to life.
Yeah,
But I
I
like to hang out, you know.
think you're the
Carl-
perfect fit for it. I really do.
Yeah,
I think you're the perfect fit.
Thank
Perfect
you, thank you. It was
And
fun
he's-
coming out to Carl and doing Operation Valkyrie and hanging out and doing that sort of
That
thing.
was
reminding
fun,
me-
wasn't it?
It was a good time.
I'm coming back out to Moab in October. No, September this year. We're not going to make it all the way out to Rubicon Trail, so I don't know if I'll get out your way again. Guys, you guys know we're going to the Mountain Readiness Expo in May, and Nutrient Survival has just signed up as a sponsor of that. So,
I'm going to go out to it too.
yeah, you're going to be out there? It's
Yeah,
going to
I'm
be
going to make that trip in May.
yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Me and Dana were actually camping out there in our little camper. So if you want to pitch a tent, I will have a campsite. If you want to just get a hotel room and come hang out with me and Dana, I'm gonna have Angry American there. Chris Weatherman, the author, he's wrote the home series. Alan Kay, the guy that won the first season of the TV show Alone.
Yeah. Awesome.
There's all these. There's going to be a bunch of great people out there. Of course, Emery Morgenstern's going to be, if he's not overseas. I got Byron Russell coming from Black Armor Syndicate. He's going to be doing some counter drone classes out there. There's just a lot of great stuff going on, and I'm excited. I'm excited to hear that you're coming out, Eric. That would be badass. So I don't need to bring too many cans of Nutrient Survival. You're gonna fly with some, okay?
I got you covered. All right. Well, Carl, thanks for having me, and special shout out again to all the Wolfpackers that joined up tonight. Thank you guys. I see you in the chat. It's been a little hard to keep up, but thank you guys, and Don't give me grief because I was a red leg, whoever that is,
Awesome.
right? Okay.
Awesome.
I thought I was going to get over, and they always say, why walk when you can ride? And in field artillery, you got to hold these big guns around. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to be riding. And of course, I get assigned to infantry units my entire time. So they and my rucksack was heavier than everybody's because I had the dang radio.
The radio with the Vincent, you had to have the encryption thing for
with the encryption and the extra batteries.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. That's why God made privates. Yeah, privates carry that stuff. Except I was the private. So now our recon guys, basically everybody carried commo. We really did. So I feel your pain. I definitely do. All right, Eric, for everybody, again, nutrient survival. If you watch this, TR Live saves you 20%. But this week you buy the Operation Valkyrie dry bag, you get that black patch right there. Mine arrives tomorrow. I wanted to have it for the live stream tonight, but my package doesn't arrive till tomorrow.
Sorry.
Ain't no telling how many points I got.
They were delayed. Yep. Carl, they were delayed because of the Chinese New Year. They celebrate that, and these are made in China, okay? But that still doesn't make them uncool. They're very cool.
I don't care where you had them made. I would prefer you had them made stateside, but
then we have
I don't
to
care
$15.
right now. So,
it's all good.
Yeah. All right, guys, y'all take care. And Eric, thanks for coming on, brother. I do appreciate it. We're going to let Eric go. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You take care.
All right, see you.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right, guys, I am back. And again, for the Wolfpack guys, you don't have to leave just because Eric left. You can hang out. I've got a lot of my great patrons here and other Asylum members. They would love to hang out with you. Real quick, guys, I want to tell you the Tactical Rifleman calendar is up. And if you look, if you're interested in going somewhere around 20 March, which is just a couple weeks away, I'm going to be down in Texas, staying at Beaumont Ranch, which is a nice little cow town. But we're going to be doing our classes at this really nice range complex called ETTS, Extreme Tactics and Training Solutions. Anyways, the range called ETTS. We'll be using their classroom, their ranges and everything. And the 20th is combat pistol, 21-22 combat pistol carbine, with that first day having a night shoot. The 23rd is carbine zero mastery. You want to master that point blank zero of your rifle and then get your holdovers out to 400 meters. And then the 24th of March is Battle Rifle 1, which is all targets 50 to 300. I've got some really great drills. That is going to be a blast. I dropped the price on that. It's down to $300 a day. And the cool part is staying at Beaumont Ranch instead of paying $180 a night before taxes to stay in the local towns at the local hotels, Waxahachie, Texas. Staying at the Beaumont Ranch 10 minutes away, they're charging us like the rooms start at like $65 a night. And we're going to be in the bunkhouse. But the cool part is because it's an old cow town, me and all the instructors, we're staying in a bunkhouse. You guys can stay in the bunkhouse with us. We'll go out to dinner at night, come back, maybe sit around the fire or maybe just sit around the outside of the bunkhouse and drink moonshine. It's a good time to hang out, meet the Tactical Rifleman instructors. Come hang out with me. Anyways, that starts 20 March. If you're interested in signing up, again, they're down to $300 a day. You can sign up at tacticalrifleman.com. Then I'm going to film with Leviathan down at Demolition Ranch for a week. I will be back here Easter morning, then hopefully the night prior. I got a week at home to get ready, and then we kick off our classes in our April classes down at Montgomery County Shooting Complex. There's still slots open for that. And then I mentioned when Eric was here, the Mountain Readiness Expo. what I like about that thing is they're bringing in all these like-minded instructors. You pay one price, you get to go to all these little seminars from all these great guys. They've got all these homesteaders and everybody there. So if you want to learn how to slaughter chickens or how to do hot water boiling, hot water bath canning, you want to do hog slaughtering, you want to do how to use a high lift jack. You want to do how to set up your body armor, how to use a winch on your vehicle. These are all the kind of classes that they're all 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour things. You go to whichever one you want. They don't cost you anything. It's one set price. And again, you can hang out with at the campsite with us at night. And with all the instructors, we're all camping out there. Got Byron Russell coming. Then, when everybody's gone, me and Emery are teaching at a nearby range. It's actually 40 miles away, but there's a gun store out there that's got a nice outdoor range. We're going to do combat pistol in North Carolina, and then we're going to do pistol carbine in North Carolina, and then a 2-day class that's called high risk concealed carry. So if you want to bring that EDC pistol, 3 magazines, it's a great course. We're also teaching that one in April. And anyways, good stuff indeed. How about you, Steve? What's new with you? I've missed you tonight.
I was enjoying the conversation between you and Eric because that is a topic that I have been a little bit slack on.
It's hard. It is. It's hard to take care of everything. It gets overwhelming.
Well, I was listening to this video today from the head sheriff of the Sheriff's Association in Ohio.
I saw that video, yeah.
And listening to him about the briefing that the total 3,300 sheriffs in the Sheriff's Association got from the director of the FBI, Director Ray, on the situation down on the border, and the fact that they've had a lot of gotaways that they consider as criminals or terrorists, etc. And he kind of reminded me of a certain situation, how we do things overseas. And he said that most people are thinking defensively. We got these bad people in the country. They know they're up to something. Everybody wants to have their bunker, or everybody wants to have that safe place. And he reminded us that, you can't just be defensive. You got to be offensive. And he said that if it wasn't for the police departments and the Israeli version of the sheriff's department in Israel on October 7th, that a lot more people would have been killed, because the military cannot react or respond as fast as most people think, because the military is not designed and coordinated to react to situations here in the United States. You got to remember, those same soldiers are living in your community, and their husbands and wives, parents, and so they have to get called in, and then they have to get briefed up. And I was thinking about that during the discussion with Eric on, I guess I don't necessarily like to call them emergency rations, but ready rations, because we found during the pandemic, just the lack of toilet paper sent people in a tailspin. Just toilet paper,
I just found somebody sent us three questions. So, okay. Go ahead, Steve. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No.
I'm letting Susan know that I found that the 3 questions that they sent, they'd come from a different number. I didn't even know they were here.
Okay. Well, just keep that in mind that, as Eric said, if you lose water, I don't know what it is, 96, 97, we had that big ice storm, and we lost water because, of course, all the power was out. The roads were blocked, and you lose power. I mean, we have some things in place to handle that situation for a couple of days. We lost power for almost a month. Once we lost power, we lost water. Once you lose water, especially if you have children in the house or elderly family members, that becomes a serious situation. Randy showed me a technique a while back ago that I hadn't even thought about. I have what do you call it, office water cooler.
Yeah.
That you
Those
put
jugs, the big blue jugs,
the
yeah.
5-gallon jugs.
Yeah.
And Randy said, put them underneath your house in the crawl space because of the temperature variance in the crawl space and the ventilation it has to have for the house. It's never going to overfreeze or get overly too hot, and it won't be in the way of
Unlike an
space
attic that overheats. Yeah.
Space in your garage or space in your cupboard or space wherever. You say, hey, I need, for the family to have enough water, I need, 15 of these 5-gallon bottles available. My neighbor has a well, and he has a pump. And he said, hey, man, if anything happens, we'll just use my well. Well, his well has an electric pump.
Yeah.
So, still, you lose power. Power is essential to our current level of civilization. You lose power lacking a generator.
Yeah, and people will say that, well, you can do a hand pump. On some wells, yes, you can, but other wells, understand, if you had to go insanely deep, by the time you've done pump to get water up that skinny pipe, no, I'm being serious. You would be better to have the forethought to have it backed up with a generator, a mobile generator that you could roll out to run that electric pump. But now you've got to make sure, I have to EMP shield that generator. And it's easy to say, well, I've got, and they actually sell EMP cloth now that you can drop over something. It's made for generators. I've got a couple bolts of it, but my generator's not wrapped up in it right now. And saying, well, I'll do it before the EMP happens. But the reality is you don't know when it's going to happen.
They're going to send you a text, say, hey, we're going to EMP you guys in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're giving you a 3-hour warning. Yeah, that's not going to happen. All right, I got a couple questions here that came. And guys, I apologize that I didn't take any questions while I had Eric here. I had him, because this was our first time doing a video guest, and we had him 45 minutes early so we could test it out. And after so many minutes, it shit the bed. I lost him. And so that's why I was like, I want to get in everything with Eric right now. So first question from, without further ado, Carl, if you were to build a training facility from scratch, including lodging, how many acres would you want it to be? What distance would you want for long-range targets? Long-range targets, I'd be training the military, and right now military snipers want a mile plus. You start talking backstop, but for me, I want crew serve weapons off of vehicles also. So I want a minimum of a 2-kilometer range. Now I know that's like, well, Carl, that's a lot of land. Yeah, I know. But you asked.
That's a county.
Yeah, you asked. Now, understand Tier 1 group, and I used to work down there. I used to be director of special projects, Tier 1 group. They have 777 acres there, and they have 1,000-meter known distance KD range with the pits. Remember the old pits?
Yeah.
Right?
KD range.
KD, known distance range. And then from that berm, you can shoot off the top of that berm. And they have an unknown distance berm that is slightly over 1,000 meters. Now they've shortened the berm, so if you went way to the side, you can get 2 kilometers. Or they're working on it. They haven't finished it yet. But understand your range fan is going to be very, very narrow. They have a drop zone out there. They've got an Afghan village. They've got 2 360 degrees live fire shoot houses. They've got a breaching facades. They've got 2 breaching houses. Each breach house has 12 doors, 4 windows, and 2 walls that you can explosively breach. I want that to sink in because you blow up these 12 doors explosively. You go over the other building and blow up those 12 doors. By the time you come back to the first building, the maintenance guys have already replaced those 12 doors. So you literally can spend the whole day going back and forth, back and forth. The record is held by the Dutch Delta, and they blew up over 300 doors in one day. Lowe's and Home Depot of Memphis loves Tier 1 Group. They love them because they buy these doors. They buy them. You can't make doors like that. They are no joke. Interior doors or exterior doors. They're Class 2 doors. It's whatever the client wants. Anyways, it's a great facility, but it's still not big enough for me. And they have on-road, off-road driving. They've got a 2.2 mile track on road. You can hit the button on the wall. The sprinklers pop up and wet the corners down, so you can do wet road driving in the middle of August. They've got a off-road driving route that is 5 miles around the thing, and they've got a rally track also. It's still not big enough for me. So I'd say 1,000 acres. Yeah, 1,000 acres.
Was that question rhetorical? As in, Carl, I'm thinking about building a range, and what would you like? I think he should recant that and say, here I am, Mr. Average USA citizen. I want to have a range. What do you recommend?
Yeah.
Other than building another tier 1 group?
Academy in North Carolina, Darcy, which is in Arkansas. Yeah, it's in Arkansas, but is that the other end of Arkansas? That's the one the CIA goes to all the time. Anyways, there are training facilities that are out there, civilian owned. There's a bunch of them. There's 2 new ones in Texas. I don't even remember the names of them. And it doesn't matter because civilians can't go there. And it's not that it's illegal. It's not illegal.
Carl, I don't think he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about it. I think he's saying if I had a 25-meter berm, 100-yard meter berm, and maybe 1,000-yard long range.
He said build a training facility from scratch, including lodging. How many acres? He's no joke talking about building a facility.
Okay. Now let's take one of my favorite range facilities. Okay. 17 South down just south of Savannah, Georgia. We went there for the Big Daddy Unlimited.
Yep.
They have skate trap. They have 25 meter, 50, 100, and then 1,000, then a helicopter pad, a great lodge. If you threw in the lodging, that would be set. And that's only about, 300 acres? And it's a great facility.
There's no driving track there. There's not a parachute
but he
didn't
say,
you're right.
He didn't say driving. He didn't say airborne operations.
But he asked what I would do.
Look up 17 South Gun Club.
Yeah.
And take a look at their layout. That's a pretty nice layout.
Vince, thanks to Eric and Nutrient Survival, I used a number of their products last hunting season. Outstanding. I have some food allergies, and NS has never bothered me, and the food tastes great. Thanks. Here's the deal, guys. No matter what company you go with, you're going to find some products you like, and you're going to find some products that you don't like. For example, I'm not a big fan of their lasagna. I'm also not a big fan of their vitamin coffee. It's instant coffee, number one. But 2, you start adding all the vitamins, minerals, and everything, and it just doesn't taste like my 8 shots of espresso that I put, my froth Italian cream in. You see what I'm getting at? I'm spoiled. I'm very spoiled with my coffee. So
it's an acquired taste.
Yeah. Emergency situation up on the mountain, it'd be good. But that said, I'm here to tell you, I went and grabbed this can because it was easy, because there's a stack of the, this one right here, Homestyle Scramble and Southwestern Medley and 3 Cheese Macaroni are my go-to 3 that me and my son eat all the time. We eat all the time. And and they have the single serving ones. I brought out some of the single serving ones earlier from my bag. But for me, I like putting up the cans of things that I can't readily get locally, and that's the butter, the milk. Milk for me is a big one because you gotta have milk, guys. And I know Alan Kay loves to hug his goats. He's got a bunch of goats and he drinks goat milk and everything. I'd rather drink powdered milk than goat milk. That's just me.
My son drinks goat milk, and
Does he like it? You didn't like it, though, did you? All right, we got a couple more. The Gustache 2531. Who wasn't it? The Gustache 2529 earlier. They must be like siblings. All right, threw down $5. Sir, if I see a traumatic extremity injury that is not bleeding, do I still apply a tourniquet? He used the word traumatic. What I think he's getting at is if it's a traumatic amputation or even a partial amputation. And the answer is yes. Go at least 4 inches above the wound and crank that tourniquet down. Here's why, guys. I've seen motor vehicle accidents in Iraq, like Humvees and armored vehicle rollovers that have completely taken feet off. The problem with that is that a lot of traumatic amputations do not bleed right away. Here's why. Hold your hand out, all right? Now I want you to get your pocket knife out, all right? And I want you to stab yourself in the palm of the hand. You don't have to stab hard, all right? But when you stab yourself in the palm of your hand, you're going to find your hand's going to pull back. Why? Even if you don't want it to. Why? Pain's great for training, by the way. It will teach you to not always do what Carl tells you to do on a live stream. But I want you to visualize it. The reason why your hand pulls back is because every muscle in that forearm is going to contract. Now, it's contracting because you just stabbed yourself in the freaking hand because you're an idiot. Now, imagine having that wrist completely cut off. That pain is not going anywhere. That's the bright white pain. You understand? Y'all seen the bright white pain before? Oh yeah, that's the bright white pain. Every muscle in that leg is going to constrict. Every muscle in that arm. So if it's a foot that's been chopped off, or a hand, or an elbow, whatever it is, all those muscles are going to contract, and you're going to have very little bleeding. The problem, though, is make a fist for me, guys. Yeah, no, you don't have to stab yourself. Make a fist. Tighter. I want to see white knuckles. Tighter. I want white knuckles. Tighter. Hold it. Tighter. I want you to hold this as tight as you can for as long as you can. I'll wait. No. Don't put it down. Keep holding it. Keep holding it. What you're going to find is for about 5 minutes, you're going to be able to hold it there. You are. You're going to cramp. But that your body's doing the same thing. It's not bleeding because you don't have any muscles here, guys. All these muscles are these tendons moving in your wrist down here. All right? That's you see it moving. All right? This is all the muscle for up here. So make that tight fist, and what you're going to find is after about 5 minutes, it's all of a sudden you're going to have to let go. That's the same thing with a traumatic amputation. That leg is eventually going to relax, and when it does, all of a sudden it's going to bleed like a stuck pig. Unfortunately, by now, if you forgot the tourniquet, he's already on a litter. He's already in the back of the Suburban, or he's already in the back of the ambulance. He's got a space blanket over him, and nobody is seeing the blood that is just pouring out into the back seat of the Suburban, onto that cushy bed in the back of the ambulance. And that's why the litters for the Army helicopters are now mesh. It's so that the blood will get onto the floor of the helicopter, because under a space blanket, the poor PJ, that paramedic on the bird, can't see that this thing has started bleeding again. So yes. I can't stress that enough. Traumatic amputations, traumatic partial amputations, big, bad trauma, even if it's not bleeding. If you look at it and you go, that should be bleeding, put a tourniquet on it, all right? You're not going to hurt it anymore. What are you going to do? Make him lose the foot? You've got it in a Ziploc bag in the front of the Suburban. It ain't going to get any worse, right? All right, excellent question. You notice I get passionate about certain subjects.
Something. And being an SF medic, I mean, You got to give him his due. It's funny when you mention that white paint.
The bright white
The
paint.
bright white paint is like, I started having flashbacks from my airborne days. Is that the ground coming up?
All right, we got one here from Jerry J. Jerry J, if you're still here, man, I'm sorry, I'm just now getting your question. I want to welcome Jerry J back. Jerry J just became a what is it, Silver Star patron? Or, I think he's a Silver Star patron on Patreon. Jerry J, thank you for signing up. I appreciate you doing that. I got to do this in my Jerry J accent. Have question. Any high-density foods for Arctic in the future? High-density foods for Arctic in future. Jerry, I don't plan on going to the Arctic. But as far as nutrient-dense foods, a lot, especially your freeze-dried foods. Nutrient-dense is nutrient-dense. The advantage of freeze-dry is it doesn't matter how cold it is or how hot it gets. What he's getting at, though, guys, is you're in the Arctic and you don't have access to thawed out water, it is hard to reconstitute these foods. Okay, I'll buy that for $1. But you still have to be able to keep your body warm. And what we would do, guys, number one, you can eat freeze-dried foods. The Southwestern medley, the single serving ones, I love to just pour it in my mouth. It's got the big red beans in it. It's got chunks of rice and chilies and peppers, and it's like you're eating trail mix, right? But how do you get water when you're in the Arctic? I was actually taught this by some 10th group guys, and they don't use canteens because the mouth of a canteen is too small and it freezes. They use Nalgene bottles. You guys know what a Nalgene bottle is. It's got the big head on it, all right? Kind of like my coffee cup. And what they do is they will pack 2 Nalgene bottles with snow, right? And they got a piece of 550 cord about that long, and they hang the 2 Nalgene bottles inside their parka. And then when you're out doing your cross-country skiing or doing whatever, by the time you get to your next stop, all that snow is melted, and you're going to have about a quarter of a Nalgene bottle filled with very drink. It's still going to be cold water, but it's melted water, and you can use that for reconstituting your foods, but more importantly, for rehydrating you. I have had to treat people for dehydration with 6 inches of snow on the ground because they're not drinking enough water when it's cold outside. If you are still exerting yourself, I mentioned the cross-country skiing, but you don't feel yourself sweating because your body sweats to regulate body temperature. And if it's just because you're not feeling yourself sweating, you're still sweating in all that really, really thick clothing. You're still getting dehydrated and you're breathing it out also. Excellent question, Jerry. All right. Got another one here. We got a couple more. All right. Peter's back with 10 Hong Kong dollars. What type of technical vehicles you two guys prefer? Technical vehicles. You're a flyer guy, aren't you? You like
that doesn't answer this question because the flyer defense vehicle, which is the new SOCOM vehicle that replaced the Humvee, and no, it's not another Humvee. It's a totally different vehicle than a Humvee. It is the new tactical vehicle for all SOCOM Special Forces groups, SEALs, Rangers, MARSOC. It's a tactical vehicle. Yes.
Big Army didn't go with it. Big Army went with an up-armored vehicle. And
well, they went with the JLTV, and then they went with the ITV, which is the
Polaris Razor.
No, it's not the Polaris Razor. It's by GM Defense.
Don't know that one.
We could go all night on this subject. But when you say technical, when you say tactical vehicle.
You like the old Tacoma pickup trucks?
It's still, personally, I prefer a Range Rover. If I can get one. If you're going to give me a Range Rover, We had Range
The
Rovers.
Defenders were very big all over the Middle East. All Africa. Matter of fact, when we were in Ethiopia, the SAS were there with their Defenders, their Land Rovers, Defenders, and they were all tricked out and everything. And that's when we showed up with our Humvees, and that was like their first time with Humvees, and they were making fun of how ugly the Humvees were. So anyways, there's a volcano there. We're going to go do training up on top of the volcano. Not only did the Humvees make it up to the top of the volcano, and the Defenders didn't, by the way. Not only did the Humvees make it to the top, they made it to the top while they were towing Defenders. So worse than towing a trailer, they were towing a whole nother SUV loaded down with British. British. There's no T in British.
Yeah, because
we threw that shit in the harbor. Yeah.
Now the Defender and the Range Rover.
Good vehicle.
I once had a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
I loved it. And my good friend Guy, if you're watching, took it down to Panama and totaled it. I still think about that to this day. That was my go-to anything. You know, it was. I mean, you know the old African movies. You see the Toyota Jeeps and the Safaris and stuff like that.
Remember they paint some of them like zebras. Yeah, you guys know.
I'll tell you, those things rock.
Yeah, they are.
They absolutely rock.
And then we have to ruin all this with all the emissions and Department of Transportation. Got to have airbags now, 6 of them. You've got to have a backup camera if it's newer than 2015. Yeah, there was no hell. They wouldn't even seatbelts. The people that sat in the back sat sideways. They had the bench seats. Bench seat.
Yeah. Now, if you guys, again, for a tactical vehicle, and I worked on a program. We keep calling it Flyer, because the vehicles are made by Flyer Defense, but it is the SOCOM M1288. So just Google M1288 SOCOM tactical vehicle, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's an awesome vehicle.
It is.
I love it. It's the driver sits in the center. He's got an operator to his left and an operator to his right. They both have pedal mounts, swing arms for M240s. 2 guys in the back, swing arm mounts M240. So you got 4 M240s. Now you got the gunner in the turret. He's the center guy behind the driver.
The 50.
No, with the Mark 44 minigun. Getting some. So just look it up, because we keep calling it the Flyer, because Flyer Defense makes the vehicle. It is an awesome vehicle.
And that was 5th Group guys that brought that into being. So even though all of SOCOM got it, Delta, the SEALs, everybody, it was 5th Group that made this thing happen.
The vehicle is right around a 5,200-pound vehicle. Little bit smaller in dimensions than a Humvee, but it'll carry 5,300 pounds.
Yeah. With being a little bit smaller, it fits inside of a 47 much better.
We got it into the 40. If you put a Humvee into a 47, we call that Rapids.
Yeah.
Takes us about 35 minutes to get into which plus you had to take the M2
the whole mount.
The whole
you
mount,
couldn't even leave the
whole
gun
machine gun, everything off the top of the Mark 19. Flyer vehicles, the main gun suppresses into the vehicle, so you never even take it out of the mount. All you do is open the feed tray cover, take the latent ammo out of the way. We got that vehicle versus 35 minutes with a Humvee. We got that vehicle into the back of a CH-47, MH-47 in about a minute and a half.
Nice.
And when you come off with the Humvee, you have to take the 50 off the hood of the truck, put in the mount, put in the carriage, put in the gun receiver, main receiver, and put in the 50 barrel, and then you got to do headspace and timing. About 35 minutes. Flyer, you come off, gun's hot, main gun in about 45 seconds.
Annalise and Kyle threw down 10 bones. Safe travel to Palatka tomorrow. I'll see you there next week. Yeah, Kyle's coming down to jump with me. Have you met Annalise yet? Kentucky Fried Korean?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you got to meet her. She's awesome. Her husband, Kyle, has come down to Palatka to jump with us in the past, and they're both patrons. And I'm hoping you two can make it to Patreon this year. Annalise is supposed to be
It is-
finding me a long range here in Eastern Kentucky, so it's going to be awesome.
Are they already certified jumpers, or they're going to be wannabe jumpers?
He's already he came a year ago and got his jump wings, so he's just coming as a strap hanger to stay current, like Nicholas.
Okay.
Today is Tuesday, right? So today started airborne school for the basic students and also the extended airborne refresher students. They're doing it this week. They will have graduation Friday. Friday, the C-47, that World War II airplane, comes in, the Tycho Bell. They're jumping on Saturday also. Sunday, they're shutting down ops, repacking parachutes, all this. And I'll already be down there to help out. But I don't, the following week, come Monday morning, I am the airborne commander. I'm going to be running Jump Master Refresher on Monday, and then the students show up for week 2. I have got Scotty Neal from Horse Soldier Bourbon. Scotty Neal.
Scotty?
He's bringing his son.
Brother Scotty.
There's going to be Mark Nooch. You guys have seen the movie 12 Strong. Mark Nooch was the captain. I know Thor played him in the movie. Mark Nooch is so not Thor. He's not, but
Thor is so not Mark Nooch.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Nooch is so much more awesome than Thor is. No, that's the truth right there. Mark Nooch is awesome. Anyways, gonna be a bunch of great people down there, and again, they start next Tuesday through Saturday. Kyle's gonna come in, probably jump Friday or Saturday. I look forward to see him. That's when my son is coming down. My son and my wife. And it's gonna be awesome having everybody down there. It just always is. It's a great time down there. I'm gonna be living out of my camper. Having a
So
good time.
if I went down to that course down in Palatka,
Yeah.
what would I qualify as a recertification?
Yes, you would have to because you haven't jumped in the last 12 months.
Yeah, I would say so. Avoid
No,
the bright white pain.
all you have to do is it's called extended airborne refresher,
Okay.
and you basically do the sit through the clip because the parachutes are different than what you use. All right, they're using more modern parachutes. You've got to do the hang in the harness. You've
Right.
got to do the MERPS. Now is a different reserve.
Okay.
All right.
Does it have a handle?
You got to. It has a handle.
Handle, okay,
No,
so-
but the handle's different than before, Steve.
Dude, if I'm about to die, I'll figure that handle out.
But the whole thing is you don't have to. They run a professional show down there. It's awesome. Steve would have to do the 3-day extended airborne refresher. It starts every Tuesday for the next 3 weeks.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
You know,
It is completely sold out.
even though I have over 1,600 jumps.
1,600. I only have 600. Holy cow. Steve's the man. He was on a Halo team a lot longer than me.
Well, I mean, you got to realize I came in and went to airborne school in 1978.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
And stayed on jump status for 30 years.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
But basically they're round shoots, they're not squares.
Yeah, they're jumping rounds.
Bright white pain.
Yeah.
Suck it out.
We've got some good guest speakers coming in for the graduations. I'm going to have I'm in charge of week 2. Week 2, we have the Horse Soldier Bourbon guys. So we're even doing a bourbon barrel drop, bundle parachute. They're going to drop a bourbon barrel. I'm going to have 2 C-47 airplanes, so I'm going to be able to do them in trail. I've got Horse Soldier Bourbon coming. I've got Black Rifle Coffee that's going to be there. I think Grunt Style T-shirts also. Some director from US SOCOM's going to be there. I'm not going to say names and everything. Kyle Lamb's going to be there. Kyle Lamb's coming down.
Cool.
Yeah. He'll be there Tuesday morning. He has signed up for AER. It's gonna be a great time. Emery's coming down. Actually, Emery is towing my trailer down. I'm riding with Emery, and we're gonna have us a great time. And if you guys are in the area, Like I said, it's sold out. But if you're in the area, please stop by all week long. Come say hi to us. If you want to help out, there is always help that needs to be done, without a doubt. We're always in need of help down there. How many times you reckon it takes repacking the chutes before it becomes muscle memory? Gavin, I have no idea, brother. Most people do not repack their own parachutes. The static line guys do not repack their own parachutes in the U.S. Army. Only the riggers do. Now, when you go to Halo School, part of Halo School is you learn to repack your own parachutes. But yeah, now as a civilian jumper, you can buy your own round parachute, and you can get classes, you can get certified to do it. You cannot pack the reserves, though. The reserves have to be packed by a certified rigger for that type reserve, and it has to be repacked every 6 months. Emery, for example, went to go jump a couple months ago. He hadn't jumped all winter, and they actually stopped him. He had to rent a parachute because his reserve had not been repacked within 6 months. So
now for the free fall, soldiers in the military,
we can't pack our own reserves.
We pack our own main
parachutes
whenever we're doing a military free fall certification. Certification is an away event. We normally we started off doing El Centro, California, then we started using Yuma, and you pack your own chute for those 30 days. You're jumping 4 times a day, and you're packing your own chute, but at the same time you have riggers and black hat instructors from the Halo committee at SWIC at Bragg, and basically he hit one. It's like 4 steps to packing your chute.
It's called a rigger check. You get so far and you yell, rigger check. And he comes over and he looks at you and goes, keep going.
Keep going. Even on the 29th day, when you've got it down to where bam, 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 you still have to stop and have them check.
Peter's back with another 10 Hong Kong shekels. What do y'all think of robots as SF soft support units? Here's the deal. SF and special operations will always be on the cutting edge of technology. So if it comes to drones, whatever the top of the line drones are, we're going to be using them. Top of the line aircraft, top of the line vehicles, top of the line guns, top of the line optics, because I'm not just talking thermals and night scopes, but even your day scopes. As day scopes and the coatings on the lenses and everything else, Carl, why does this scope cost $5,000 and this other one costs $2,500?
They say robots?
You said robots.
Okay.
I'm using day optics as an example. If a Leopold scope with a new coating that's different than last year will allow me to see that deer at 6:18 in the morning instead of 6:22 in the morning, it really doesn't make sense for a hunter to spend another $5,000 to get a new scope over what he had last year. But for the military, if the enemy's got last year's scope and they can see me on the battlefield at 6:22 in the morning, but this new coating on the lens gathers and nothing actually gathers more light. It's slang, but what it does is it transmits more light through the scope. If it will allow me to see that bad guy with the SVD at 6:18 in the morning where he can't see me for 4 minutes, that's 4 minutes on the battlefield that I have an advantage. We will drop $5,000 to get every one of my snipers new scopes. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, we throw money at it. Same thing with night vision. Gen 2s, and Gen 2 Plus, and then Gen 3s, and then Gen 3. There was like a year and a half where they called stuff Gen 4. It wasn't actually a new generation, so that term was pulled away. But a lot of the newer Gen 3 stuff is badass. It is. But there's a reason why a lot of the thermals that the military are using, you won't see civilians using them. It's not that the technology is restricted. It's for you guys to spend $10,000 on a thermal rifle scope. That's a big deal, guys, because most of them cost $2,000. All right. If you're spending 10 grand on it, you've got deep freaking pockets, and you're the man. Okay, I understand that you're Wall Street, but you're a rancher or somebody out in Texas. You've got deep pockets. You can spend 10 grand where most people have a hard time justifying two.
So
the nods, the thermals that our snipers are running they start at 40 grand and go up from there. All right, but there's a reason why. Robots are the same way. We've been using robots for a long time, dude.
I was kind of wondering when you were going to get to the robot.
We're going to, whatever the latest and greatest robot is, and you'll see.
Who asked the question?
Peter from Hong Kong.
Okay, Peter, I don't have a Hong Kong accent, so let me throw this at you. When I was running Force Modernization for 5th Group, we worked on a program called SWORDS, SWORDS. And if you Google it, just Google swords robot. It was a little tread robot that sat about 3.5 feet high. It had an M240 mounted in the center, and it had thermal optics, everything else, all kinds of comms on it, and it could be remote controlled. Well, when we started deploying this in Afghanistan, all the teams started calling it the Taliban resupply vehicle. Because all the Taliban would do when this thing came in the cave is they would hide out of the field of view of the operator who was driving the robot. And then they'd run up behind the robot and pull the battery cables off. And then they'd take the M240 and the 400 rounds of ammunition and the other optics off of it, and they would be resupplied. Okay? Now, I was out in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a NDIA annual weapons conference for all of industry.
That's the one where you had to wrestle it.
The robot swords, when they rehearsed, the robot came forward, it shot at the targets 200, 300, 400, 500 yards down the range. When all the VIPs showed up in the big Greyhound buses, and they all packed it to the range, when the robot was supposed to do what we saw at practice, it went forward, then it turned left to 9 o'clock. And I was up on a berm because I was thinking, I don't need to see this. I saw the rehearsal. Well, then it turned to 6 o'clock, which is facing into about 130 civilians who started screaming and panicking, grown men running over women, cell phones flying, everything that happens. So me thinking that this thing is jerking around and the 240 is an open bolt gun, sooner or later it'll jerk to where that bolt will go forward. And once that bolt hits that first cartridge, that's 200 rounds of ammo that's going to keep going because they didn't have any control over it. So being a 5th Group SF soldier that I was, and that I am, I immediately ran down the berm, grabbed the 240, lifted the robot up, turned it away from the crowd as the treads are tearing my uniform, and I'm holding onto this hot barrel, and I popped the feed tray cover, and I jerked the belt off. One of the guys from the NDIA ran up to me. He was a retired Marine, and nothing against Marines. He ran up and he helped me work it around to point down range. So everything calmed down. The people that had the swords to demonstrate, they claimed that it wasn't a malfunction. The cell phones interfered with the radio waves coming from the operator.
There's no cell phones on the battlefield. There ain't no cell phones on the battlefield.
So,
none at all.
The next year when they had the same conference in Vegas, the guy that ran up to help me turn the gun down range, they gave him a award for bravery for the NDIA.
And you didn't get nothing, did you, Steve?
I mean, it's not that I was looking for anything, but the fact that they gave something, and I was sitting in the crowd watching, I was like, you know what? But white folks. So I'm
sorry, Steve.
But anyway, robots, there was a program called TALOS, TALOS. TALOS is SOCOM's requirement to industry. They go to industry. Don't go to to Rock Island or also on a crane or something like that. Because those engineers, they drank beer and pizza during college and couldn't get hired by General Dynamics, so they all joined the government. They stay there till they're like GS-15s and they fuck everything up. So they started
How do you
program.
really feel, Steve?
Yeah, stay with me here. And they let Reed Knight run the whole show. He's in charge.
Yeah.
So Talos is the government's desire to create the Iron Man suit. Basically, it's kind of like, remember on Aliens and Ripley, she was in the hangar and she got into this forklift thing that she could walk and move. Well, they're not saying we want to be like Iron Man, but they're saying kind of like the Halo movie. See, Master Chief, John 117. Okay, so they want to build this because we're already packing armor, right? We already have the ability to use motor leverage, right? So if we decide to totally armor you like a Mandalorian, right? Your body has to carry the weight of this armor. So they want to take the weight off the armor and put it into these little servo mechanisms. Well, once they do that, they say, hey, once we got that, instead of you having like the 4-tube nods and all this other stuff, we'll put that weight on the frame of the Talos suit. So industry and technology is moving so fast. I mean, what I would do, I would take the whole Talos program and I'd give it to the TikTok people. Because they're like, they move so fast. I'll give it to Elon Musk. I said, Elon Musk, how much you need to take this program that we spent $100 million on and we don't have shit yet, and give $50 million to Elon Musk? I bet next week he'll have something for you. SOCOM is all into robotics, and the main thing that I've seen is either, because think about it, the what's that big UAV drone we use is the Predator?
The Predator and the Prowler.
Well, that's a robot.
The Reaper.
The Reaper.
Yeah.
Reaper. So the Reaper is a robot.
All your little drones, guys, you understand, those are robots.
Yeah.
They're just
so
aerial.
If you say, kind of like, I'm going back to the Mandalorian, this is the way. You want body armor here, you want body armor here, here. You can't carry that weight. So we put servo mechanisms in there, support that. Basically, you're going to step into an Iron Man suit. You won't have all the things about talking to the computer and it gives you all this other stuff. But basically, they're going there. And one day, you're going to meet that guy on the battlefield. Well, we won't meet him because he should be facing that way away from us toward the enemy. And you're going to have to hit him with a freaking RPG to take him out. Because small kinetic energy ammo is not going to, get past his armor. Because he's going to be wearing Beskar alloy armor.
Tommy Guns threw down a question for both of us. Hey, Carl and Steve, I'm all set for Patreon event this year. Do you have a training agenda yet? Thanks for all you do. We haven't locked it in yet because I'm still trying to finalize ranges because I have a bunch of exotic weapons, bunch of full autos, couple Barretts. I've got a bunch of stuff like that we want to do. One of the things we are doing is land navigation. We're going to do map and compass. I've already got a subject matter expert that's going to be setting up multiple compass courses there. So if you're new and you need the classes, we'll start off classroom stuff, pace count, all that stuff. But for those of you showing up that already know how to do that stuff, the routes will already be set up. You can go straight into doing it. Now, here's the thing, because a lot of my vets especially, they're like, oh, I was always good at land nav, map, and compass. But when was the last time you did it? All right, one. And you'll have the option to do it in the dark also. But here's the other one is we're also going to allow you to do them with your GPS. Because a lot of people are like, well, I don't need map and compass anymore. I just need a GPS. All right, but here's the deal. I'm not going to give you both because a lot of people say I don't need to have a map and compass. I'll just use my GPS. Okay, let's see how that works out for you. So in other words, the guys that show up that are already trained well, I've taught this class before, Carl. I don't need this. Trust me, you're going to get something out of it because you've probably never done a land nav course with just a GPS. You'll be able to do it GPS and map. You'll be able to do it map and compass. You'll be able to do them in the dark. But if you are intermediate, you've messed with it a little bit, quick refresher, and then you get out. The best way to do it is be out there. And I'm going to have enough instructors on hand that if you need to work as a group and you want to bring a barrel-chested freedom fighter with you, they'll go out and they'll do the routes with you, the ones that want to start with the basics in the classroom. We're still going to do tactical combat casualty care. We're going to do some escapology again, getting out of zip ties and handcuffs, and we'll probably do lock picking again. Randy has got a whole bunch of survival stuff he wants to do. And one thing I noticed was the last 2 Patreon courses, we did not have Randy do any survival fire building or anything. So last 3 years, we did not do it. So anyways, there's Randy's chomping at the bit to set shit on fire. I've got guys chomping at the bit to do more gun stuff with you. I know Steve is looking forward to doing 22s and lever guns with the ladies. So anyways, I'm bringing it in, but at the same time, until I get a long range, I'm restricted to what I can do. I've got different ranges that I have access to right now. For example, the Louisville Armory. So we could do night shooting. We could do night shooting with nods. All right. They have a small shoot house there, but I'm going to have 30 patrons, and I can't shoot 30 people at the same time there. I just can't. So what can I do round robin style? So anyways,
I'm chomping
answer.
at the bit to do Mark 44 minigun stuff.
If you can get me a Mark 44 minigun sponsor,
I can.
That would be awesome.
I can.
Elvis Dog, what do you think? Elvis Dog, come here, Elvis. Come here.
Steve
Come
can
here,
do it.
Elvis.
Steve can do it.
Come here. Come
While
get
he's
him
working with Elvis,
Come here. Up here. Come here. Come here. Elvis, get up here.
this is
Come here. Come give me love.
what I'm talking about, people. This is Talos
Oh, up here.
Tactical
Up here.
Assault Light Operator Suit. And as you can see, looks more like what was that doggone movie? But anyway, no, don't do that to me.
There's a Tom Cruise movie where he keeps going back 24 hours.
Oh my God!
They had exoskeletons to support the weight, but no armor on it. And I'm not real big with that idea. All right, hold on a second, Elvis. All right, I got another one here, guys, from Big Fuzzig. What kind of stuff does Carl have hiding in his Suburban? Y'all don't worry about what's in my Suburban. Y'all don't need to worry about it. Guys, you need to have stuff so that you can self-recover. You need to have stuff in your vehicle in case you have to leave your vehicle. You need to have stuff in your vehicle in case you have emergencies, medical gear, stuff like that. All right. And in my case, you have to have stuff in your vehicle in case you have to help other people that are stranded. All right. So there's a lot of stuff in my vehicle. But right now, my vehicle is loaded to go teach all those classes. It has got 9 tactical rifleman barricades, the wooden barricades, the legs fold, and a bunch of steel targetry and ammo and blasters and range boxes and paper targetry and chem lights and my bag of flashlights for the night shoot. There's all kinds of stuff in there. But yeah, my Suburban stays loaded down, guys. You don't need to know what's in my Suburban. All right. All right, hey guys, I just got a reminder from Nicholas. He's like, hey, remind them Rifsy's doing a $200 giveaway. You guys know, you see on our commercials, we've got that Rifsy commercial that's up. Rifsy is that app that I do on my phone. And here's the deal. And again, it's a free app. But, and it's about the freedom of journalism. Instead of the mainstream media telling you what stories you can do, this is you guys. You pick the story that you think should be on it, and you riff it from whatever site and put it onto Riffsy. So when I pull up Riffsy on my phone, right, I signed up for it, and all you got to do is put your email in. You're good. Here's the deal with it is March 25th, I think they're doing it. Yeah, March 25th, they're going to draw one member that is already signed up, and they're backdating it all the way till I first mentioned it to you guys. So if you already signed up, like a lot of you have, you're good. You're already entered. But if you guys sign up for Riffsy right now, if you don't have it on your phone yet, all you gotta do is sign up for it, right? I try to post every once in a while. You'll see I posted one yesterday. They're doing a drawing, random name, somebody that is signed up, and they're going to give them 500 bones, $500, $500. You can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. So, anyways, good stuff.
Thank you, JT Yearsley, Starship Troopers. That's exactly what I was trying to recall.
But Starship Troopers, that's not the Tom Cruise movie.
No, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. That's what it was. Starship Troopers.
My wife loves that one. Yeah. That's where he keeps Groundhog Day, basically.
Yeah, Groundhog Day. Every time he dies, he immediately comes back.
I love it when he doesn't get it right. And she walks up to him. He goes, "Oh no way!"
That is a good movie. Of course, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood.
Yeah,
it's like I heard they're coming out with a new Twister movie, because the old one was like 1990s.
Twister,
the tornado movie. Remember?
Was that with the guy from Aliens? He was driving down the street. He had the little robots. He wanted to throw it up.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah.
It's a good movie, but leave it to Hollywood to make weather exciting. You know, everything in that movie is exciting. I've seen a few tornadoes, but I was actually Tier 1 group got hit by tornadoes twice while I was there, and I got to actually watch the Rogers Range. And, they say it sounds like a freight train coming by when the tornado hits. I was parked at the edge of the grass. There were students. They were having them unload, show clear so they could go to the bunker. And I want to let them know, hey, it's here. It's getting ready to hit us. You need to go. I'm 50 feet away from them, and I hit the horn on the Suburban. They're 50 feet away. I hit the horn on the Suburban, and that freight train was so loud. I'm in the Suburban, and I can't hear the horn. They never heard the horn from my Suburban, and it picked up one of the sheds. That was one of the Target sheds. Oh, I don't know, a plywood and sheet metal shed, and threw it through the Rogers Range. Just totaled the place out. Fortunately, where the students were standing, not a single student got hurt. And then we moved everybody to the underground bunker. But we were lucky. And then the other tornado, I didn't actually see it because it was really dark, but it came through a couple 100 meters away, completely took out the Afghan village. It did $185,000 worth of damage to a plywood village, to give you an idea of how much damage it did. The deductible for their insurance through Lloyd's of London, $150,000 deductible. So do you even file for that to make 20 grand back? No, because then your rates go up. So basically the company had to eat all that damage, and it sucks.
Another movie besides The Edge of Tomorrow, there's a one with Chris Pratt that's very similar, back to what we were talking about, the Taylor suit. Yep. It's called The Tomorrow War.
I have not seen that.
You need to see that one. That's very, very similar to Edge of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Except there's more ass kicking in this one than Edge of Tomorrow.
All right, Steve, we are already at 2 hours, brother. Is there anything you just gotta share with them today, or you want to wait?
Yeah, we can wait. I was going to go through a little more history of the Mark 12 SPR development with you guys.
Aren't you guys all like, because you want to come back to that, you guys really want Steve to do a whole feature Friday Mark 12 video, don't you? You want an SPR video. I know I do. I want one. And So, and you guys, I'll still always let Steve talk Mark 12, 6.8, miniguns, everything here on the live streams for sure. But I've been trying to talk Steve into doing a feature Friday tactical rifleman video.
It would have to be segments of video because I couldn't go through this and do a video in like 1 hour to cover everything from the development of the Mark 262 77 grain 5.56 through the Mark 12, the different variations.
I had Randy talk for, he's laying out the gear in his truck. And it was supposed to be a long video, hour long. He went for like 3 hours. I divided it up into 5 separate videos, and part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And Steve will gladly do that for you. But please don't think that you should put it off just because you think it would be too long.
No, not at all. Not at all. But like I said, last week I went through over a quick glimpse or overview of the beginning of the Mark 12 5.56, where I was using the Armalite fiberglass tube, and then as the different variations changed based on operator input, we went to carbon fiber. And the one I have here, if you can flip over there to that one, that's one of the very first ones.
I know it's hard for you guys to see it. This one right here, guys. I'm not touching it. Google. Y'all keep your panties in the wad.
That's one of the first 16.5-inch Mod H's. As you notice, the carbon fiber tube is not as far forward as we finished up with the actual platforms that we started deploying overseas.
Yeah.
But again, that was like not even the first generation. That was like generation
pre-gen
0.5.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss this in the next segment. How about that?
Yeah, let's save it, guys. Let's save it. Hey, I want to remind you guys, I am heading down to Florida. So the next Tuesday, Tactical Tuesday live stream, I will be in. You want to talk about knives? You can't do it next Tuesday, Steve. I'm going to be in Florida.
Look at that puppy.
What is that? Dude, that is Applegate? What is that?
That's cold steel.
Oh, that's cold steel right there. That's a killer shit right there. That's not an MRE opener. That's a killer stuff. All right, guys. So anyways, next Tuesday, same bat channel, same bat time, but I will be doing it. I'll be running the live stream from my camper.
Red River Tactical made us a Kydex holster for...
That sexy, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Steve loves those things. He loves them. And I got asked, it dawned on me once, I've never killed anybody with a spear. But
there's got to be a but.
I'm still young, I'm only 56, so it's on my to-do list. All right, guys. While Steve's putting that away, all right, parting words of wisdom and stuff. Again, I want to thank our sponsor, Venture Surplus, right here, guys. You know the deal. They bring the Army Surplus store to your door. Check it out at venturesurplus.com. We've had a great live stream today for all of my Wolfpack people that stayed the whole time. Remember, you're always welcome here in the asylum. I thank Eric Christensen from Nutrient Survival for stopping by with us today, tonight. And again, guys, all March, you use code TR15. It saves you 15%, and you can get my 3 things. That Nutrient Survival, or the Operation Valkyrie bag. You'll get that Tactical Rifleman limited edition black patch. Mine's supposed to arrive tomorrow. And then next week we're doing the Tactical Rifleman bucket. The week after that is the Build Your Own bundle. And that's the one that I'm going to be jumping on because I need a bunch more cans. Guys, it's simple math. How many people do you have? How long are you planning for? And then figure out servings per person. And it quickly adds up. It really does. Parting words of wisdom from Steve Holland, the legend.
Oh, switch up on you. Can I do that? Like this.
Oh, snap.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. I'm not going to say a political party or anything like that. I'm just going to say, blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he or she is truly his brothers and sisters' keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy and let illegal immigrants come across the border. Bless you. And you will know my name is the Lord when I bring my vengeance against you. And it won't be bless
Elvis,
you. And it
I'm
won't
so
be Constantine
allergic to
wire.
Elvis. Right? Right? This is why we don't do politics. Hey guys, y'all are awesome. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Y'all take care and shoot straight.
Incoming right there.